The origins of the 30 Years' War. In the early 17th century, Europe was a continent divided by religious and political tensions. The roots of the 30 Years' War can be traced back to the Reformation, a religious movement that challenged the authority of the Catholic Church. As Protestantism gained followers, it sparked conflicts between Catholics and Protestants across Europe. These tensions were further fueled by power struggles among European monarchs, each vying for control and influence. The stage was set for a war that would engulf Central Europe and leave a lasting impact on the region. Religious tensions and the spark of conflict. As religious tensions continued to escalate in Europe, the stage was set for the spark that would ignite the 30 Years' War. The conflict between Catholics and Protestants reached a boiling point, with both sides fiercely defending their beliefs and seeking to assert dominance. The Peace of Augsburg in 1555 had temporarily settled the religious divide by allowing each ruler to choose the religion of their territory. But this fragile peace soon crumbled. The Protestant Union and the Catholic League emerged as powerful factions, further polarizing the continent. It was only a matter of time before a single event would trigger a chain reaction of violence and bloodshed, plunging Central Europe into chaos. The devastation of Central Europe, battles and sieges. The 30 Years' War unleashed a wave of devastation across Central Europe, as battles and sieges ravaged the region. Armies clashed on the battlefield, leaving behind a trail of destruction in their wake. Cities and towns were besieged, their walls crumbling under the relentless assault. The civilian population suffered greatly, caught in the crossfire between warring factions. The war became a brutal struggle for survival, with atrocities committed on both sides. As the conflict dragged on, resources dwindled and famine gripped the land. Central Europe was transformed into a wasteland, its once thriving communities reduced to ruins. The devastation inflicted during this period would leave a lasting impact on the region, shaping its future for years to come. Political intrigues and power struggles. Amidst the chaos of the 30 Years' War, political intrigues and power struggles played a significant role in shaping the course of events. Rival factions vied for control, maneuvering behind the scenes to gain an upper hand. Diplomatic negotiations were often a facade, disguising ulterior motives and hidden agendas. Allies turned into enemies, and enemies into allies, as alliances shifted and loyalties were tested. The pursuit of power became a driving force, with rulers and nobles seeking to expand their territories and influence. Betrayals and backstabbing were commonplace, as individuals sought personal gain at the expense of others. These political machinations added another layer of complexity to an already tumultuous war, further fueling the flames of conflict. As the war raged on, it became clear that not only military might, but also cunning and manipulation would determine the outcome. The political intrigues and power struggles of the 30 Years' War would leave a lasting impact on the political landscape of Central Europe, shaping the future of nations and dynasties. Peace treaties, and the aftermath of the war. After 3 decades of bloodshed and devastation, the 30 Years' War finally came to an end with a series of peace treaties. These agreements aimed to restore stability and bring about a lasting resolution to the conflict. The most significant of these treaties was the Peace of Westphalia, signed in 1648. It not only marked the end of the war, but also redefined the political landscape of Europe. The Peace of Westphalia introduced the concept of state sovereignty, recognizing the independence and autonomy of individual nations. It also granted religious freedom to Protestants and Catholics alike, ending the religious persecution that had fueled the war. However, the aftermath of the war was far from peaceful. Central Europe lay in ruins, with cities destroyed, economies shattered, and populations decimated. The war had taken a heavy toll on the region, leaving it vulnerable to further conflicts and power struggles. The Peace of Westphalia may have brought an end to the fighting, but its legacy would continue to shape the future of Europe for centuries to come. Legacy and lessons. Learned from the 30 Years' War. The 30 Years' War left a profound impact on Central Europe, shaping its history for generations to come. The war demonstrated the devastating consequences of religious and political conflicts, as entire cities were destroyed, economies collapsed, and populations were decimated. It served as a stark reminder of the importance of diplomacy and peaceful resolutions in resolving disputes. The Peace of Westphalia, although imperfect, introduced the concept of state sovereignty and religious freedom, setting a precedent for future treaties and negotiations. The war also highlighted the dangers of foreign intervention and power struggles, as various European powers vied for control over the region. Ultimately, the legacy of the 30 Years' War serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the destructive nature of war and the need for diplomacy, tolerance, and compromise in maintaining peace and stability.